Okay, I just want to talk a little bit about self-energy. It's a bit of a paradox in that in itself, as in, the Tao spoken is not the Tao, as is very commonly said, but here I am talking about it. So, self-energy in IFS is hugely important. It's the energy field, the energy particle that we connect to make therapy and healing happen. So what is it? It's particle and wave. So it's the part of you that is the you that knows your emotions. It's the you that knows your body. It's the you that is in your body, observing your body. It's the you that employs your voice to speak. They say that it's the you that isn't a part, or the you that isn't the burden the part carries, or the burden that is floating in your system. It's you, the observer of those phenomenon. A part is a living system, in a subsystem of your whole system, and a burden is added to that, secondary. That could be useful, as in not being a burden, but that could become a burden when it's no longer useful. So self-energy is the you in relationship to the parts and the burdens. And there is also self-like parts, and that can be very, very tricky to navigate, because a lot of self-like parts are very young, and they're very close to the pure essence of living energy. And the closest one of all of those is the one we call self, the particle side of self, the me in my body observing it. The wave part of self-energy is where that particle of self is the utmost closest to the unified field, the field of energy that is omnipresent, that exists in every fiber of who I am, who you are, who the universe is. It's quite a thing to get your head around. No wonder they say the Tao spoken is not the Tao. So why is it so important? I've heard people say that, if we get close and we're working with people and they got the qualities of self as it described as the C's, calm, connected, compassion, curious, and I can never remember them all. So you go bathing in the C's. And the P's, perspective, presence, playfulness, persistence. And there's many parts that possess those kind of qualities, yet they are not really the fluid, living presence of self-energy. And it can take quite a lot of work to get to the actual river, the living part of self-energy, the real self-energy. And why it's so important is because if we're healing from a self-like part, they have in healing like healing. So do we want pseudo healing, or do you want the real deal? Gosh, when I think of my experience of connection with self-energy, it's quite a ride in my life. Connection as in the observing self, the particle side of self, which is easier to access, but where the real power of self-energy is in the wave form, which completely dissolves the ego when you're there. You really do take a bathe in it. It's quite an experience. It's what we call Dharma dissolve in the meditation world. You really do dip into that field of energy, and it really does top up your critical mass of self-energy. Some practices can tell the self-energy in people by their shininess. They see it. Quite good practice, I think, to be self-responsible and look for self-energy in yourself, to be aware of your self-energy, to be aware of it in your parts. Dick Schwartz says each part is like a person in itself, in its own right. So that means if each part is a person, each person has self-energy. The only ones that don't really have self-energy are memories, but they can come with qualities of self-energy. So just being energy. Just listening to that subtle. And one way I like to access self-energy is through the breath. I can go inside and just be still, stop breathing, and connect to the stillness, the calm, the connection, the clarity. I really feel that. But when my breathing, the frequency of my breathing, the vibration that is shaking my skin as I breathe, my body, the resonance of that actually can match the frequency, the earth resonance, the resonance of energy in the universe. Because the brain is a pattern matching organism, that kind of opens the doors into the self-energy. So this could be, or is, I'd like to suggest it is a very effective route to self-energy. The importance of breathing too, consciously breathing. We all breathe, but to do it consciously, to not bypass our breathing, the potential of our breathing. The potential of self-energy in each part. There's even potential of self-energy in information that has landed with parts. Even if we don't like it, even if it's a bit shocking, it's been come in too rapidly. it's a bit different to us. So we think, oh, self-energy. How do you experience it? How do you access it? How do you experience it in your parts, in others? How do you see it? How do you notice it? Okay, bye for now.